What's going on, good people? It's your man, Dr. Will, and you guys know the deal. Let me know what city, what state, what country you are chiming in from. Even if you're watching this on the replay, let me know what city, what state, what country you are chiming in from. I'm here in the beautiful city of Phoenix, Arizona. So wherever you are in the world, let me know what city, what state, what country you are chiming in from. All right, so I am here in my office here in Phoenix. It's 11 a.m. here in Phoenix, so wherever you are um, in the world, I hope that you're having a magnificent day. But I'm here in the middle of my day, or in the middle of my morning, and just doing some regular routine work, and I thought it would be beneficial if I came in and just shared some ideas. As I was sitting here, I was thinking about some things. And one of the questions that I always get posed is, what do I do day to day? Like when I'm not on stage, when I'm not consulting with companies, what is it that you need to be doing so you can get on stage and so you can consult with companies or coach or whatever it is, service you provide. In our private Facebook group, Genius Nation, if you're not a part of Genius Nation, I encourage you to join it. It's a free private Facebook group. But what we're in the middle of right now is, for 365 days, I'm doing a live inside the group, and I'm sharing with them the behind the scenes. A lot of times, once again, we see the result, but we don't see the process. So what I've been doing is sharing with them the process, what it looks like behind the scenes to run a successful and thriving business. So if you haven't become a part of Genius Nation, please do that. I do that video live every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so it's like a 10 to 15 minute video just to get your mind focused for the day, just to give you some insights, some tools, some strategies, some solutions on running your life and your business. And so as I'm here sitting in my day doing, the routine things that you need to do in your business, I call this the unsexy part of business. Everybody likes to do the sexy part of business, which is usually the results. If you're a speaker, that's getting on stage, that's flying on planes, that's going to nice hotels and things like that. Everybody likes to do the sexy part of the business, but they don't like to do what I call the unsexy part of the business. So today I thought it would be advantageous just to share with you some behind the scenes stuff of what I do on a day-to-day basis, because it's not always on the stage. It's not always, eating at fancy restaurants and all that kind of stuff. It's work. Before you get to those things, I'm on the stage in my business maybe 5%, maybe 5 to 10% of my business is being on stage. It's the 90% that I have to do behind the scenes that get me to be able to do the 10%. And so I want us to really understand that. When you think about a professional athlete, think about a basketball game. A basketball game is 2 hours, but how much practice do they put in? They go to practice every day. So the practice is always longer than the game, right? You think about an Olympic sprinter. You think about the fastest man or woman in the world. They put in hours upon hours to be able to run 9 seconds, 10 seconds, right? To get the title of fastest person, fastest man, fastest woman in the world. Think about that. To run 10 seconds, 11 seconds, 9 seconds, to run that, how many hours of training has to go into that? I remember, training for a marathon. Marathon is 26.2 miles. Half marathon is 13 miles. How many miles do you have to train and prepare just to run 13 miles? Like you have to run hundreds of miles to prepare to run 13 miles, a half marathon, or 26 miles, a full marathon. And that's the same way for business. You got to put a lot of energy into it. And everybody just, everybody wants the gold medal, but there's a lot of work that goes into getting the gold medal. And so that's what I want to talk to you about, just share with you just a couple of insights. And if you're not able to stay till the end, I don't know how long this is going to be. It's not going to be too long because I got to get back to work. But if you see scrolling down on the page, it has a website there, and it says No Blink Client, noblinkclient.com. You can go there. I'm giving you this free handout that we call our No Blink Client Assessment. And that's what I'm going to be talking to you about, an aspect of your business that you need to focus on. But you can go there, just pop in your email. You don't have to pay for anything, but it's a 50 question assessment that helps you identify your ideal client, which I'm going to talk to you about, today. So I want to talk to you. I wrote this book, How to Build a Thriving Speaker Business. But when it comes to business, business is business. Business is business. I'm not only a speaker, but I'm also a business consultant. So I work with a lot of businesses over the last 20 plus years. I've worked with 79 different industries. I've worked with 79 different industries, right? And so I have a real deep knowledge in terms of what it takes to run a thriving business, a successful business. And I've been able to go into these companies, and they hire me to come in and help them, because I can go into any company, and every company has something that they can improve on. Every company has something that they can optimize. And so I go in and I have a framework that I work with. Like when I sit down and I consult with companies, I can almost guarantee them that I'm going to help them increase their profitability, because I know from working in 79 different industries and working with hundreds of different companies, I know that they're not optimizing all the areas of their business that they could be optimizing, and they overlook it. And a lot of times, especially for us that are small businesses, maybe one person businesses, maybe you have a small team, 5 to 10 people, there's a lot of things that you can miss. There's a lot of things, we like to say it's impossible to see the picture when you're in the frame. When you're the picture, it's hard to see the picture. And so this is why companies hire me to come in, because they need a new set of eyes. So I can go into a company and I can just look at, a couple of areas, ask them a couple of questions and say, what does it look like for performance optimization for you? What does it look like for marketing optimization for you? What about your social media optimization? What about your PR? I can identify, certain areas that I almost know that they're not maximizing. And if they just gave this, like, let's say I work with them for a whole year. And so every quarter, we're going to look at maximizing and optimizing 3 to 4 areas in their business. And just by optimizing those 3 to 4 areas in their business, they can then increase their profit. Because just think about your business right now. If you optimize and you had a system in your business for follow-up, just think about that, for follow-up. And if I could look in your business and I say, okay, how good are you with follow-up? Let's look at follow-up. How good are you with going after potential clients? How good are you? And if we did a scale from 1 to 10, and let's say you were at a 4, and we can implement a system that could get you to a 7 or an 8 over the next 90 days, then you can just see in that one area, if we optimize our follow-up, how that could increase our bottom line. And I could go through any business and look at 10 to 15 to 20 different areas in their business and see that they're not optimizing these areas, or if the area is at a 4 and we can get it to a 7-8, if the area is at a 3 and we can get it to a 6-7, think about that. In one quarter, if you optimize 4 of these areas in your business, what type of growth would you have? And so that's when you're looking at business and you're talking about business, this is one of the main reasons why a lot of businesses go out of business. The SBA says 70% of businesses go out of business within the first year. And a lot of times it's not because the owner, the entrepreneur is not motivated, they're not passionate, they're not willing to work. It's because they're not systemized and they don't know how to optimize areas of their business, right? A lot of people that get into business, you get into business because of the thing that you love to do. I love to speak. I love to sing. I love to bake. I love to do hair, right? But then you realize about business, man, there's marketing, there's advertising, there's fulfillment, there's distribution. There's so many different areas that you're unaware of. It's not your fault. You're just not aware of it. And then trying to get them all in alignment to sustain you, to keep you in business, that's a big thing, right? So here's one of the things I wrote in my book, how to build a thriving speaker business. One of the things I wrote in there is, in all the businesses that I've been a part of, and I've been a part of several businesses, I've started businesses, I've sold businesses, and every single one of them had the same issues: client acquisition, how to get clients, market share, and capital, money. So simply find new clients, service existing clients, and earn money. That is the major, right? The initial major problems of all businesses. No matter what, it's client acquisition. How do we attract clients? How do we attract individuals to buy our product, to buy our service? How do we get market share? All of us, no matter what your business is, no matter who you are, you're trying to get market share. You're trying to get a share of the market. Doesn't matter what percentage, doesn't matter how small, you're trying to get a share. And then capital, right? Money to run your business, run your overhead, right? Initially, just little services like your website service and your cell phone service, just those little market capital, those little things like that. How do you keep that going? How do you sustain the business? And when you look at your company, when you look at, especially for those of you that are one member businesses, single entrepreneur, look what you're asking your business to do. You're asking your business to support the business itself, but you're also asking the business to support your lifestyle. You want to pull some type of salary out of that company, right? So look what you're asking that business to do. We ask our business to do a whole lot. If you have employees, you're asking the business to pay those employees. You're asking the business to pay the overhead of your company. And then you're also asking it to finance your lifestyle. That's a lot. That's a lot for a business to do. And if you don't have, certain frameworks and systems and in your business, it's going to be very difficult to do. So, in all the businesses, as I said, every single one of them had the same issue: client acquisition, market share, and capital, and simply finding new clients, servicing existing clients, and earning money. So I believe that all progress starts with truth, right? We got to start with truth. We got to find out where we are. So I always like to start. I'm a numbers person. I'm a numbers guy. So I always like to start with the numbers, right? So let's look at some numbers here. Let's look at the numbers. And everybody, especially here in America, and I'm specifically, I'm in the speaking industry. So let's just look at the speaking industry. So let's say you're a speaker and you want to join the 1% of speakers, right? You want to join 1% of the speakers. So a minority of Americans make over 100K a year. According to Zippia, roughly 33% of Americans make 6 figures annually. I want you guys to think about this, because a lot of times the lines get kind of blurred on social media because we think everybody is 6 figure, 7 figure, 8 figure, 9 figure, 10 figure this, right? So roughly 33% of Americans make six figures annually, and 15% of those earn between 100K to 150K. While six-figure salaries are not as rare as previously, most Americans still make less than that annually. So this is data from the IRS. This is data from numbers. So if you have a legal entity and you're paying taxes, this is what the numbers say. 33% of taxpayers are earning 100K. So that means roughly 70%, right? 70% of individuals are not earning. So I don't want you to get your, your wires crossed thinking that, man, I'm not doing as good as everybody else. So this means right now, out of 10 people, 3 of those people are earning 100K or more. 3 out of every 10 people, right? So I don't want us to come to social media and get those lines blurred. So if we're going to progress, we got to start with truth. So here's the truth of the matter. So you may not be as far off as you think you are, right? So let's just say you're still a career professional and you haven't switched totally over to being a full-time entrepreneur, which is totally okay. Let's say you are a career professional and you're earning 65 to 75K and you want to get to the 100K. This is for you as well. There's some things that you can do professionally that can get you to that next level. So when we look at this, when we say let's look at truth here, we want to start with truth. So on average, it is said that the average speaker earns about $50,000 to $60,000 a year. The average speaker earns about $60,000 to $70,000, $50,000 to $60,000 a year. In our academy, GSA, I tell all of our speakers, at bare minimum, you should be earning 100K. I want all of our speakers to be in the 1%. I want all of our speakers to be in the 1%. And so when we look at that 100K, to me, that's $25,000 a quarter. $25,000 a quarter. So for all of our speakers in our academy, I want them to be earning. Now you may say, man, Dr. Will, is this possible? It sure is. Just today, one of our youngest speakers, he's 13 years old, just was featured on Good Morning America just today. Caden Harris was just featured on Good Morning America today, got interviewed by Michael Strahan, and he's 13 years old and he earns 100K in his speaking business. And what I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes is one of the reasons why he's been able to do this at 13 years old. One of our oldest students in our academy is 70 years plus, and he earns 100K in his business. And one of the reasons is what I'm getting ready to share with you in a few minutes. So it's definitely possible. So if you looked at your year, broke it down in quarters, there's 4 quarters. Every quarter, you should be earning 25K. So let's just say at the minimum, your keynote fee is $5,000. At $5,000, you need 5 people to say yes. You need 5 people to say yes. Every 90 days, you need 5 people to say yes in your business. You need 5 people to say yes in your business. I want you to just think about that. And so if we can simplify the processes, if we can simplify, I tell our students all the time, if we simplify, we can amplify. If we simplify, we can amplify. If we simplify, we can amplify. So just think about that. 25K every quarter. You have 90 days to find 5 yeses. That's the game we're playing. Every 90 days, we want 5 yeses. If your fee is $10,000, then you need 2.5 yeses, right? You need 2.5 yeses. And so we start at minimum. All of our speakers, you got to be at 5K. Just put that out there. Right? My speaking fee is 5K because that means now I only need 5 yeses. I only need 5 yeses. So let's look at this. This is what I want to share with you. So initial 3 things to focus on in whatever business you're in. So I'm in the speaking industry, but this could be for whatever you do. So get clear on your message. When I say message, once again, if you're not a speaker, then what is it that you do? Get clear on that. What service do you provide? What problem do you solve? Get clear on that. So as a speaker, get clear on that. Get clear on that, right? Get clear on your message. What is your message going to be? What is your message going to be? So I need you to get real crystal clear on that. Second thing you need to do is get clear on your market. Once you get your message clear, this is what I want to say. This is what I want to present. Now, who do you want to say that to, and who do you want to present it to? And then number 3, get clear on your method. How are you going to do it? How are you going to deliver that message? How are you going to do it as a keynoter? Are you going to do it as a workshop facilitator? Are you going to do it as a trainer? Are you going to do it as an MC? How are you going to do it? What method are you going to use to do it? So now when it comes to the no blink client assessment and questionnaire, we're talking about your market. It's going to help you identify your market. And why is it so important to identify your market? Because if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. Let me say that again. If you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So we want to get clear on who our market is. And the assessment, the questionnaire, is going to help you get clear on that. It's going to help you get crystal clear on who do you want to work with, who do you want to service. Why is this important? Because now when you're marketing, when you're advertising, you can now speak directly to that individual. And when I say individual, I mean industry, right? I just want you to think about if you're driving down the street and you're looking for something to eat, and you pass by a restaurant, and on the restaurant sign, it says chicken, burritos, tacos, fish, lasagna, pasta. If that's on the sign, right? Just think about it. You're driving, you're hungry, you're ready to eat. And you look at this sign, and on this sign for this restaurant, it has chicken, tacos, burrito, lasagna, pasta, right? If it has all these different things, what's going to happen with you? Are you going to stop there? More than likely you're not, because you're going to be more confused. You're going to be, what? You're going to be thinking like, wait a minute, are they cooking my chicken in the same grease that they're cooking the fish in? How is that going to play out? How is the smell of fish going to play out with my lasagna, right? You're just, that's how it looks when you say I serve everybody and I can do everything. So you want to get crystal clear on who you're serving, because now you can talk directly to them. In your emails, in your communication, you can speak directly to them. Let's just, as an example, if you say, you know what, my market is schools. Well, in education, they have their own language. So when you're working with school districts, they work, and their training modals are all centered around this program called CASEL, right? CASEL. If you're all over the place and you're trying to speak to this industry, this education industry, they're looking for language that they're used to. I was in the Army, and the Army, we have a language all to ourselves. In the military, we have a language all to ourselves, where what we would call people outside the military, civilians wouldn't understand. They wouldn't understand. If I have some of my Army buddies on here, if I said Article 15, they would know exactly what I'm talking about when I say Article 15. You as a civilian, you may not know what that means, because that's a different language. If you're into the IT world, IT has a different language that they speak. So when they're looking for speakers, they're looking for speakers that are expert in IT, not just a random individual that's just going to come and talk. They want someone that's talking their language. That's why it's so important for you to hone in on who your market is, So you can now use all your efforts, use all your marketing to talk to them, to talk directly to them, right? And so this no blink questionnaire is going to help you identify, because it's going to ask you questions about your ideal client. How did I come about this? How did I create this no blink concept? Because I got very good at understanding who my market is and who I serve. So when I reach out to them, because I know their problems, I know what keeps them up at night, I know what their struggles are. Because I know this, I can speak to that. So when I send out correspondence, it resonates with them. Oh, this is the problem that we're having. So let's just keep using the example as education. So a lot of school districts have a problem with retaining students, right? Well, in my email, if I reach out to a principal, a superintendent, guidance counselor, and say, I can help reduce retention, right, in your school, I can help with that. That's language that they know. So how do we come with no blink client? Well, when your marketing matches their problem, then they have no problem cutting you a check. That's why I call it no blink, meaning when you say, this is the problem I solve, they know that's the problem they have, and you say, this is how much it's going to cost, they, without hesitation, cut the check. I call that no blink. They don't even blink. When you're talking to a person who's not your particular client, they'll say things like, well, let me think about it. Let me get back to you. Let me go talk to somebody over here. Let me go. They're blinking. That's right. But when you are talking specifically to your ideal client, they don't blink. They where do I pay? Where do I send the check? So you want to get no blink clients in your business, and taking this questionnaire, doing this questionnaire is going to help you. It's going to help you match up with your ideal client so you can speak their language. Have you ever been, I grew up in church. Have you ever been in church and you're like, man, that preacher is talking directly to me? That's what you want your ideal clients to say. When they read your email, when they see your marketing, when they watch your videos, when they go to your website, you want them to say, oh, this is speaking directly to me. This is speaking directly to me. This is who I need. This is who I need. Think about when you go to like a CVS or Walgreens, you have a headache, you have a stomach ache or whatever, and they have all these different medicines. What do? You pick up the medicine and you're reading, okay, temporary relieves fever. Okay, temporary relieves headache. Okay, temporary relieves stomach ache. If you have a stomach ache and you read that, it resonates with you. You say, oh, okay, this is exactly what I need. I'm picking up this one. With all the different, right? With all the different options, when they read and they say relieves headache, relieves stomach ache. Oh, I got a stomach ache. This product is talking to me. This is how you want your ideal client to look. When they see you, when they see your presentation, they want you to say, you want them to say, oh yeah, this is the right person. This is the person for me. Does that make sense? So want you to go over once again and download this questionnaire, 50 questions to discover your no blink client. Simply go to noblinkclient.com. Once again, it's free. This is my gift to you. I just want you to get crystal clear on who you're servicing, because once you get clear on who you're servicing, it impacts your messaging and everything else. And once your messaging gets on track, that's when your money gets on track. That's when you have people no blink. That's when you have people who say, this is who I need to be working with. And that's what we all want. That's what we all want. So I hope this helped you out. I hope it gave you a little bit of insight of the type of work that you need to do. Now, let me share one more thing with you, because this is huge. Another thing Clarity is going to do for you, Clarity is going to give you confidence to do the work. See, a lot of times we don't do the work because we're not confident that in doing the work, I'm going to get the result, right? A lot of times we're not confident in doing the work because we're not confident if we're going to get the result that we want. But when you do this questionnaire, it's going to help you streamline that. It's going to help you get confident. Just this week, we're going to send out hundreds of emails to potential clients. We're going to send out hundreds. This binder's filled with hundreds of emails, right? Hundreds of emails we're going to send out. And why am I confident? See, if I'm not confident, then my mind will tell me this is a waste of time. That's what will happen. If you're not confident, your mind will tell this is a waste of time. You're wasting your time reaching out to people. But because we've identified, these are not just random emails. These are emails of our ideal clients, right? These are emails of our ideal clients. And so because they're emails of our ideal clients, that's where my confidence comes in that I'm going to get the result. What is the result? A yes. Not a yes from everybody. I know that. Not going to get a yes from everybody. But I do know that every email that we send out is a potential yes, because we're not just flapping in the wings. We're not just sending, right? If I say my target market is the education industry, then I'm not sending an email to a construction company. I'm not sending an email to a law firm. I'm not sending an email to a medical technology facility, right? I'm sending it to my ideal clients that I've already researched their major problems. I know what keeps them up at night. And so I know that we have the solution. I know that we can solve the problem that they have. That's the confidence that I operate in. So when we send out these correspondence, I know we're going to get the result, right? I know that my yes is in the process, right? I know that my yes is in the process, that if I just do the process, I'm going to get my yes. I'm going to get my yes, but I've already done the heavy lifting. I've already researched. And here's a tip I will give you. Whatever industry you're in right now, this is what I would suggest for you to do. Go to ChatGPT. If you're not using ChatGPT, go Google it, figure out what it is. Go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to give you a list of the biggest problems that whatever industry you're in is facing. Go to ChatGPT, ask them to give you a list of the biggest problems that your industry is facing that you work with, and look at what you provide. Look at the services that you provide, look at the programs that you provide, and see if it's matching up with the biggest problems. If it's not matching up with the biggest problems, then you need to go recreate programs that solve their biggest problems. Right? So like I just told you about education, I know retention, keeping kids in school, is a big problem for a lot of school districts. That's a problem that they need help in solving. They need assistance in solving. So think about that. Whatever industry you're in, think about that. Go to ChatGPT, type in whatever your industry is. What is the biggest problems that this industry is facing? What are the biggest problems that this industry will face over the next 10 years, right? And then you can start to get detailed, right? You can start to look at, once you get clear on your market, now you can start reading magazines and articles and everything about that industry. And then what? You're the industry expert in that industry. And then that's when you get a whole lot of no blink clients. because they now know you're the individual that will help solve. You're the now Superman, Superwoman for them. So hope this helped you out. Hope this gave you a little bit of insight. These are the types of things that you should be doing before you get to the stage, before you get to your next client. This is what I call the unsexiness of business. It's the laborious work. It's, you don't get any likes for this. You don't get any retweets for this. No one sees you doing this. But here's what the principle says. The principle says, whatever done in the dark will be brought to light. So if you do the work when nobody is watching, you'll get to the stage where everybody will eventually be watching you. All right, guys, hope this helps you out. Go out there and have a magnificent day, and I'll talk to you later.